Okay, good guys. So tell us. I know we Command Your Brand. We know who you are, but tell the world who you guys are.
We are Brandon and Whitney Cawood, and we are first-time filmmakers. So we have a film coming out called "To Die for" the documentary.
Uh-huh.
So that's basically what we've been using the podcast for, to spread the word about our film, to spread the word about what we've learned throughout this process, and yeah, so that's what we're doing.
Awesome. Good. And so, why did you come to Command Your Brands?
So Command Your Brand actually reached out to us, which was great. I think they happened to see some stuff on social media that we were doing,
Mm-hmm.
reached out to us and let us know that they do a couple of pro bono cases every year, and ask us if we were interested. The timing was good. We were already planning on like doing a podcast tour, so we're like, we have nothing to lose. Let's give it a shot, and so we did it.
Nice. And how was your experience with the onboarding process?
And the onboarding process was really good for us because it helped us really get organized where we were disorganized. So
Mm.
a lot of things that we have been putting off, like our brand guide and things like that, like they kind of helped us get organized and get prepared for like the next phase of our journey. So onboarding was really good. We learned a lot. Everyone was really like personable. It was really informative and definitely not a waste of time.
Well, yeah, and
Nice.
The stuff Command Your Brand created for us, we'll be able to take that folder and those questions and those like the PDFs and all that sort of stuff. We'll be able to use that even more moving forward. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it really made like the process with everything that we created with them, it made the process of actually like being on podcasts like really seamless because they already knew so much about us because Command Your Brand had put so much energy into I guess booking us and having all that ready for us. So it was really cool.
Awesome. I think you answered this, but you can tell me if you did. I guess my next question is, what value did you receive on your onboarding?
Um what could I add to that?
Um,
Whatever you feel that could have been, I mean, where it
I
be.
do feel like it. I do feel like it kind of maybe answered a lot of questions or things that we should be thinking about that we probably hadn't thought about before.
Hmm.
Uh, like when he said having all that stuff ready for the host,
Yeah.
not having to, so that first conversation we have before they start recording, they already know who we are. They already kind of know what we're talking about. So it was kind of gave us more time to just kind of get to know them quickly and get comfortable and without having to like go through all the details and things like that. So it really helped us just prepare and be prepared. And like she said, make the podcast go smooth.
Yeah. And also that like mindset shift of how we're adding value to that specific podcast because
Mm.
we've been on several different types of podcasts, from parenting podcasts, health related podcasts, even a podcast that is more like political. So it was good. The onboarding process kind of helped us think through like how could we add value into each of these like different podcasts.
Nice. And how was your experience working with the PR team?
So good. Like we had the best. Like, it was so cool, first of all, to work with the PR team. Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Let me have my people contact you.
And like they
Right.
went above and beyond. Like there were several podcasts that reached out to us. I think three or four podcasts that reached out to us that asked us to come on their show. And they encouraged us to send those people to them and so that they could book everything too. So it was even seamless the podcast that we, I guess, booked ourselves. So it was really cool that they like went above and beyond. And like super, super responsive and was just like super on it. Like Megan is a workhorse, so she should get a promotion.
When she,
Yeah.
she felt like she became one of our friends, and so that was cool.
Yeah.
We
But
could
our
text her.
friends, we're friends on social media now.
Yeah, we could text her, or we could ask her a question. It was great.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want, she's going to be on a podcast with me in an interview. So if you guys want to, so if you guys are on our podcasts, or if you guys listen to our podcast, like Command Your Brand Show, she's going to be on it next. So you can hear
I
from her
love
next week.
it.
Good. All right, cool. And then, were there any results that you kind of noticed, or any tidbits that were created in your business?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Was there any results that were created for you in your business because you went on podcasting?
I think our email list has definitely grown, and it's been cool because they encourage us to have a separate podcast email section. So we're able to kind of identify those people a little bit easier. And it definitely has given us more opportunities for PR, a lot more press, a lot more like content for social media.
And we still have about 3 podcasts left to record, and then we probably have about 3 or 4 that haven't even come out yet. So when some of those we feel like we're really good and like we're gonna push it forward even more. So I feel like, I think we've got a lot of value from the podcast where all the hosts have been really cool and like letting us have the footage and we can make our own reels and things like that to show on social media. So that's been really good and kind of out there what helps too.
Yeah. Well, and then also some of the podcasts we were on, especially we were on one really big podcast that is starting to open up doors to a lot larger audiences. So it's been cool to obviously kind of be in the conversation with people that we weren't expecting to care about what we had to say, like people that were really, really successful and have really, really big podcasts. Like we weren't expecting them to care about our story. And so it's opened up a lot of doors because we can now use their audience to tell our story. And so I feel like that has been the most value because that's what we are. We're storytellers. So we're really excited about that.
Awesome. Very cool. And then how did appearing on a podcast help your messaging?
Kind of on the same veins of what you just said. Just kind of think it's opening us up to a new audience. We have a core audience for our film, and some of the podcasts were aligned with that, but some of them were, a little left or a little right of that. And I feel like that gets our story and our film and what we're doing to an audience otherwise might not have been like locked into. They might have heard of it some other way, but to hear it on a podcast that you listen to, I think that automatically makes you more interested to hear it somewhere that you're typically going for information. So I think it's expanded our audience.
For sure.
That's awesome. Cool. And was there any show for you guys that you felt, I don't know if you both went on or just one of you, but was there any show for you that was like, wow, that was a great show, or like, man, that was like the best one I went on? Like, was there any show that was like, that really hit home for you guys?
We really liked that. This was surprising to me because although I've been following this podcast and this movement for a long time, 1,000 Hours Outside is the podcast. I wasn't expecting that to be something or a podcast that would be good for our audience, but it ended up being like perfect. It's been one of our favorite shows. And then also just really closely aligned with what our message was. So it's been good. That kind of opened our eyes to what kind of podcasts would enjoy our content. I would say that's probably one of my favorites.
That was one of my favorites too, because she watched the film and she, aside from just asking about the science within our film and the information on our film, she talked to us a lot about just the process and what it was like. And like, she was very like complimentary about, she like really liked it, like was really surprised that just 2 people made this film. So,
well, and also she was one of the podcasts that actually asked to see our film. And we've never experienced that before. And so they Command Your Brand kind of talked us through like, okay, this is normal. It's like a book and you can get them to sign an NDA and like they kind of walked us through that. So now we kind of understand how to navigate that a little bit better. So that was good.
Okay, cool. And then is there anything else you have to communicate about your experience working with Command Your Brands?
We really enjoyed it. It wasn't something that working with a PR firm wasn't something that we anticipated doing.
Having the luxury of
doing that, but I'm really happy that they saw some value in us and gave us the opportunity. So it was eye-opening how that can help the process. It was everything we've done in this film has been on our backs and we've done everything. So it was nice to have somebody like as part of the team that, we could kind of take that off our plate and keep focusing on what we were doing. So that was nice.
Well, and also like it was very obvious that they believed in us, and like Jeremy took the time to talk to us, and it just felt like they treated us like we were a paying client. Like there was at no point that we felt like we were a less than client. Like they treated us like gold.
Yeah.
And I think that is really telling because sometimes people will do something pro bono to say that they do something pro bono, but they really did it and they went above and beyond. And we would love to do this again for sure. So.
Okay, cool. Well, when you guys come back, we'll definitely give you an open arms for that. And would you guys recommend Command Your Brands?
We would.
Yeah,
100%.
sure. Yeah.
Awesome.